Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
The way ni say the role ni say or prosecutor amanfo nko na mom one of the role and say obe communicate amagana for who the way a manner things play out in a country. It is very, very important say dear ma abai no ye nyina no obetimi educate the general public ama amanfo hu kwanya nema faso a eko. And for me I think say
live on the radio on 92.3 eyaha ena Ghana kasana pempem ni amasani edom enyinetie etikoso a nafa messages for 0541825106 Ivan Yanko
Alaska. So I think it's very important say obe educate ama manfo hu de ekoso because Attorney General makasa nye na adwuma nkwan so prosecute. He's an agent of this government, our Attorney General and Minister of Justice. So at any point in time, and Nema Ekosubiano has a duty to update people because governance, you know, and yet a non-quansa what to them their way. Namum their way, no getting people to know because governance, you know, a multi-stakeholder, your friends say engagement. Are the people are critical stakeholders. So you cannot run a country and leave the people out.
Okay.
So if Ghanaians koto aba jina say nkrufobi wia omusika and no so mu jina koto aba aban na waba no you have the duty say every step of the way biano you must inform the people. Amanfo say adentro nko court nko prove na say Alaska. Say in politics no obi awia usika na say we inform people a enye court na ekoka no.
Okay.
Court ni pa do say nya kwan ko ho.
That's right.
Court no yes the criminal aspect of it no and a court adjudicate but stopping the Attorney General as an officer and agent of the government to inform people the state of play because okwa onkoka chira manfo say asuma sia before and asuma sia say
okay
or presented the chronology of event as they've occurred in their logical sequence. Sabaya Ghana new will appreciate and understand kwanya nema faswa echo so that you as a journalist you will not be in a vacuum. Okay. And you come and sit and speak their own pet. Nambum, you will be speaking from a very informed perspective because Abino is divulging information because over the years Adeba Komaka say ma buying bottom and say they don't give out information they keep
it to themselves.
Exactly. And whenever you create a vacuum people will fill it with cynicism.
Okay.
And you cannot begrudge them what they feel because you hold the information. If you are not giving it out, then they will make their own information because information naturally will have to flow. So I think that one has to be made clear. Say abang update general public on the state of affair. Kwanya among for criminal prosecutions are causing and as a foreign. It's not idea being seen that even in America they do those things. You understand?
Okay.
Because you need to sustain public confidence and let the people know that we are not doing it this alone as a government. You are part of it because you voted against the people saying they stole our money. In the Argentina, any action we are by no taking, they have to keep the people in the dark.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Because governance not yet president there and any ministers there. It belongs to the people of this country. But that last time I catch up about court. So we are judge now you are dispensing justice in the name of the republic for the people because justice emanates from us.
Exactly.
So you cannot sit in the courtroom and say I am a court into the mepe. It doesn't work in this modern world. So San Attorney General no rule no sit here. But Alaska and no because your friend said the last time I catch all the lengthy processes that you need to go through.
That's right.
In case you want to do your friends say extradition for your friend saying where yeah. And me kwatena no question back one keep coming up. Yes Argentina boys no mo ya fraud or say no quickly na Ghana ban atamamo de ama America for na ye nkro for no makoka ho ne de your friend say ye ntimi ntwe omomma.
That's right.
We see say opasa wo ye analysis it's reasonable to do that analysis from a raw perspective, it's reasonable to make that argument. But when you walk deeper into the issues, then you will come to understand the issues are quite different.
Okay.
The issues are totally different because issues are irregularity, your friends repatriation, based on the issue at stake.
Okay.
Because you have a bilateral agreement you sign with the United States of America and I work on the principle of your friends your friend say wo ye no me yama na so wa yama me
okay
reciprocal enti no say ye hia obi na aban no hia obi a obe assist ye won so no ye be assist aba. And America has this bilateral your friend saying engagement with a lot of countries, but you see a different when it is a political matter.
Okay,
so obi kwaya fraud internet so na say fraud no ye no the victims involved American citizen and one some kind a whole repatriation no different because investigation na cause no Ghana ban enya investigation regarding the matter.
Okay,
US ban and our investigation regarding the matter and more present it to use based on this treaty we have or no, we will need these people. But when it is it will be different when American or your politician Ghana not yet repatriating, they will have to go through a cumbersome process just like an Ofurata DA.
Okay,
because you see, because of your friends abuse of political power and other related ways, you know, they do it in such a way say yemfa use opportunity na yemfa enwechi hante obi in the name of political persecution.
Okay,
that is a critical clause. And in politics, you know, when it's a political matter and you want to repatriate, Abrante ya US for pena repatriating Julian Assange, your friend saying WikiLeaks.
That's right.
Wakotana equated embassy UK for almost like how many years in there?
So many years.
So many years. US of all countries, episode repatriating on to subsidy for how many years in here? So when it is a political matter, it's a different thing. So that comparison say, internet fraud, you know, CS change for Kenoforata, no. That is not the case. It's a different ball game altogether when it comes to repatriation because political issues, you know, a bit more complex and more complicated because you need to adduce evidence to convince the other counterpart. Say, nipa na yan repatriating no. Indeed, why born ampa. Na enya se tan na what tan no.
That's right.
And enya se enam say wonni ni political party bi. Ana say wona na nya adwen about bibibi nti e na wo be fa na de na kọ. So in that case, you need to adduce evidence. I am very credible. That is why we needed an indictment. I am credible. Bit in the court of competent jurisdiction.
Okay.
And now, no, we now almost say indictment. I say already, no. That indictment is going back to the US.
That's right. For them to also study.
Will be submitted to the DOG, and the DOG and the State Department, and after working things out, you know, will go to US Federal Court. We'll give it to a judge. For a judge to examine the case, and a judge is satisfied. Say indeed, Neamana ye accuse Kenoforata no krom Ghana a bone, Oko America a bone or Makacha said the crime ye accusing is a why no should be the same thing should be a crime in America.
Okay.
The why yes we are caught to Nadia someone will say yes, ya indicted no and basis in the and ya witch hunting and ya bibiano then. The case will refer back to the State Department and the DOG, and they will make a final determination as to whether the person will have to be repatriated or not. So the final discretion, you know, even aside the court, you know, will depend when the State Department is convinced that Nipano and your political witch hunting. And everybody says you call all this ordeal. And your man boy, yes, why should we go through this if you know say why papa? And again, Osama update about this woman. Your friend is saying, said the number. Also, extradition process now go through. Or no crime the other day. US Federal Court or DSM she's supposed to be extradited to Ghana.
That's right.
Until the other day has been completed.
Good.
But you need a red light from the State Department to say you're the number.
And now I'm going to continue with
the sentence. So it's not as if said that case, you know, I'm not watching it. That case, you know, I think the repatriation process started in Akufo-Addo.
That's right.
Go through all the court process and has been heard, and it's in the final way they need to clear for her to be repatriated. So those who are saying, say, you can offer a tank one amount for near brain, so woman, so the case is pending. Say US for them green lighter, she will have to come back to this country because we are taking no prisoners. What the bonnet, it doesn't matter where NDC and IMPP, Massa. So issues, you know, has to be made clear, and that is the fact. But media say Kenoforata, the all year namana there, say, and yarders or yare.
Now, a deliberate.
I can't say I'm taking it serious. Catch it, I will say, there is no way this guy will come into this country.
Sir?
And the all year in your neck, crocodile John. And then, I bet daddy. And Obia also we yare, we nye bone wo Ghana, and you are willing to come. Oba, John Mahama nyo obi or you're vindictive.
That's right.
Oh, bakasa wabanti yan chom fan kwache prison. He's not somebody who do those things. And Attorney General Krama gave him all the assurances. He said, Oba, due process in the near so go through bia.
She said, Edubahi,
Yaruba fam, and yes, Oba and Obi abandoned when they to prison. It doesn't work like that. And you know, be assured, say, win himself when you're born bra. But the gentleman is not willing. Because on one to the no hair brabo bornia, one boy, on one casa the political party for crossority and only a new year. So the only way over to me, I say, me play this I am sick card, playing the emotional card. Now on fan stay, and now I'll go to the point of hiring top US lawyers
to defend.
Federal court now this indictment case never come. Omo Bekwa could defend their case. Case long with that no. A but a political beneath it a political undertones a witch hunt and on that basis or bar and life will be in danger and that is the only reason he's hired the lawyers. Yes, to tell you as a bind say Ungrofono or Madrid or Mabom Hopada the cases your more raising will hang in Amoboa. Semenya could do say or Modi Beshim. I will not get fair hearing in as a phone. This is why he is insisting on say all getting US lawyers on his side to make this point because maybe original is here no or no or advantage change.
That's right.
Especially when he's also playing I am months ago catch us when somebody is playing I am sick card. What we be we are US for say Monfana play mono. If he begins to play the I am sick card to make nonsense of all the process. Then you have to then any court in some BM it will go to the hospital for the hospital to prove. And so what's under court to BM. Say no any issues no BM.
And for now, Krano, you go to Tikra Pose or per citizenship way crowd. So some crab almost citizen cradia. Just a whole
Alaska enter America say you see these guys are jokers. Nobody should take them serious because so your friends say kwanya US are buying afaso your friend is a kendoforata afaso are conducting on ewo kroma say na these guys are jokers to the stand say this is the finance minister of the Republic of Ghana one of the most powerful people kroma na wo yi ni patria binum kras na a powerful chain baumia.
That's right.
And the most powerful person wo krowem na ye kind of uyi president for na kind of reata on na masoja for the kura na bag de ne koba nti de na asesa wan kasa ma me kuro papa kuro untumi ma ha sei and ade we so one mama catch say is going to be an indictment on him forever
and that of his family
and that of his children because your child will walk to school and people will tell him say oh papa kwase ampanyi no fa sika odwane ya wanti ma kuro mo ko be mine so no.
So kwasempani kwa o papa kromfo no.
Yes. Na say kromfo no kwasempani the difference be anim. Obi a wi ahia fo sika de. Obi a wi ahia fo sika de.
Obi betumi aye kwasempani so no ye kromfo.
Alaska. Enti this is the kind of your fan saying brand ne ma ebebe e wo kroma sei. If you to kwan kra na manfo hia that is the kind of ade a manfo de beto so. It is a wunim say wunya nya ebone a me say akufo ado kra na mkrom say president akufo ado ono otam Ghana sika kotu amana say yenye ya fa de say
cathedral
yenye cathedral na no metese na din ya spouse ha na say this year world cup na ya tum sika no na wa obe we ne world cup ru benya $50 million na mo ni agi bo mo nsem na me say mo nim bibi ya te kroma world cup we na sika mienu sika na obo kotu amana no etese Ghana we ne world cup mienu World Cup na ye kobia na no mama $10 million ye ni age no World Cup no se Ghana ko na ye we ne cup no na ade ye chi no mo se ya bofoforo na ye san kobo na ye san we ne a sika be nya free sa World Cup me enum no
obi di ato
amana wo na nipa tena se di nkura sesem we
enya nkura sesem nipa bonfo sem
Alaska na kwabra ne tena krom ha egu amanfo bank ene papa kwasi ndiem your friends say me who said me say okafo eno nam kroma say
kara
ono ankasa ntimi nante okroma osi krom no ye ono nko obi di ababo ne timaku no because obi sika kwa akodi ho somebody called me and said nisika over there 400,000 ekodi Gold Coast way accusing Papa Kwasindium so on the Dinisika, but Ebia na enyo.
That's right.
But Kwabrani de Timoding, and apart from say Kwasindium by a Kaura no. On a man, life is also in danger because I am not sure that Papa Kwasindium can walk on the street of Ghana free of a fan wedi. Obi who no call so kwa jinisika. Your friend say other banks, GT Bank. He say Papa no wa dying motivational speaker various platforms.
UT Bank was say after say o go ni bank kura wie no. Wa sankura osizi ni password bibia later wa kura send the passport ni man no. Ni ba graduate to America or the kwa market American embassy say my emfa.
Besa mano.
It was say ni mano and okoko krentumi.
Oh boni e won krofo waiting. Na saa nipa we no dwana kwatena America. Omra kuro meyi na no. Obi anya mfa asem to so. Yes say you were the person at the center of all the financial controversy across Okroma say. Bra. Na beyi wa no. Na yenhu said ensem no sitie. De ade ato so no. Come and clear your point say enya me ana say na tie court no nipa na tie okodi asemo yentimi nchichira asano mfa nsha wo kwan abranya wo na wo ye mfa nkoto prison. Now the very moment you waive this and decide to fight it say wo ma to the extent say just on minor attempt to extradite you and no wo sign ko han lawyers are how shameless these people are. And how dangerous Akufo-Addo is by bringing in these petty criminals to come and run this country down. And the President Akufo-Addo Tinchen, no be a winner GD when the Musa or my finance minister, Sam Crass, same way not Tinchen. How will you feel as a person?
Dabio, I don't know to say well orchestrated, almost tenacity, see a baby. Now we are Ganiko.
Now, Janet, we are never going to Frucrum. We will be a Yansania, Oma, Mikro Papa Krum, Ubagana Frucrum, and we can't come back. And so, what declare persona non grata?
That's right.
Minimum be an amawo, every hour betting for Sumasia, a Piumina de Accordia. Alaska. So, you see, the onus may lie on the state, but larger part of this onus lie on Kenoforeta.
That's right.
And for me, his unwillingness to come no is a huge indictment on him, Akufo-Addo, and the very people who were defending him.
And even the party.
And the party. And I had the party, yeah. I done into jokers, and I'm for them social platform and Sabian some Hunin some phone, Casafino, one no moke country. Look at the party. And this is the product you gave us, Kenoforeta. Or Namana. Wachesha white to Bible na say kromo no say onim say nipa do na nim nyansa.
That's right.
And do time Bible na nam na yenya mini pa you convince a lot of people. You understand? Because nipa na ohia na adwendwen ti no. The very moment I befa Bible so nam so nyame asem na no ano no obi abedi wachi. And this guy was able to fool everybody in this country. Not knowing that they were running Ponzi schemes. When we were here telling people, they thought say we didn't like Akufo-Addo. And then when we are here, the whole finance minister cannot. And other person can hold any years. That's
right. Now who will be here?
Alaska. And you see, because of your castration, you know, then they are seeking to create impressions. Your friend is saying, chief of staff. And a man of crime hoping telling people say a chief of staff under this government. No, a chief of staff under the same government permitted him to leave because the letter was submitted to him at the time. No, not transition and happy place.
Right.
John Mahama, even though he was president, he didn't have any power because Akufo-Addo was president. So they did everything that they could to run away. And this brings back to Amamu Akufo-Addo bebu ye. Ti etanane catcher say a dark page in a political history. Don't sit there and emotionally say ubim penasem. Amamu boni obebu ye na hunsun so to the stand say or mind ba akutimi within 4 years. A capital market because I say Yamakwan yetime ko bobosia kwabrane ko raise over $11.4 billion per kroma. 11.
Now ade yakura so osan use ni bank as transactional advisors. Edi busebi obebo bia no na ni bank
Alaska and see the difference between NDC and MPP. Within 4 years, oh no, 4 years back, within 2-3 years. Yakobo bosia $11.4 billion bakroma ye hu ade ayede ye. Jo Mahama ba power within 1 year. Less than 1 year. Samijamfi outfit a raise sika say.
8 billion.
I can tell you that by the end of this year, that money will be around 10 billion for just 1 year. But Kwabrane the 4 years, Kobo Bosia 11 billion. John Mahama by nothing has changed. It's just the thinking, realign priorities and making sure that we concentrate on how you better mobilize Sika for minor. Gold board, gold. Gold okroma say.
No,
say gold no harder.
That's right.
So all that they needed to do is to bring wisdom to bear and make sure that the state become the only medium of export of gold in this country, and the money will come to the central bank. That's the only thing. This joker sat in this country, borrowed this particular country into hell, into a hole. After that, the sikani din semhunu, eshi sikani nyina, dibi kotu amana. Ba so for pa mombe ne nam ho bo kotu kese obi bejira no kasa because am ne hawo ba ka kira obi ba konda sora no pa bia na esi nanim nitimi ye school feeding odidi bone nim wi a o
asofo nanado
Alaska omalo mu di cathedral chi obone mini hoho a se ne classmate na Yesu wani na chi a chesa ono de ti din semhunu okrom ha ehye Ghana sika enne these people are out there telling us, oh, your friend is saying, my resign free board, so, and I say, and I one kind of crunch, and I will join. The air cost on one. Yeah, young crown cry at Tinchan, sort, and some who would get in a while, so one answers so in your mini pan, one who answer one day way, or call my new Robert and have a catcher, say, no, my resign, I didn't tell me, I will join, your fraud, or the win your drain. Nipana catcher, say, on for a mine sick and ya oka, yeah, dash out millions of dollars, you know, Nassika, no fruit, and now never, nothing if you papa on a neighbor. Kroma na yankano kre entina ye bre munipa nkano kre
but nana do nipa boni
Alaska ye bekoso abre wo man we ma me na no na meka me se lumba case ba ye na me hu say I now understand why ahianfo bekoso ye ahianfo because even with this poor society aye wo mean people are not your friend say nipa nkano kre friend say
nipa nkano
yes yes, that is a society, very corrupt society, a society devoid of morals. Na ohiani numpo nkano kre na sikani na beka no kre ohiani onu onni di obedi no onu kra nkano kre na sikani na be so the society is cursed miss ana mi hu oh yes
cursed
Alaska now the society is cursed now Alaska if you are morally corrupt you can never be successful unless obefa kwan for so someone for kwan bebere so obefa so obefa ska but what we are now we are morally corrupt you will never be successful in life. Yes, people make money. They are not way morally whatever, but people have other means. So we bet me out on drugs and yenisika.
That's right.
We bet me out for commodities. But some may bobra papa adia ye. If you are morally corrupt or boah. And because that is nature. Nature has its own prescriptions and nature has its own principles. This society is a very corrupt society, Ghana. We know who she am say lumba situation by just can't through and you understand why never cause was here for no woman be say here e dia wu our mona na no masia ba be dibi because the society is a very corrupt society. And for me I think say Kenoforata na Akufo-Addo do mo ye e toda ya but afeme ye mu binu ye stance ya fa dada say Alaska o man na ye team no sa na be ye. And the economy, you still get people who come out there and defend and say, oh, Kenoforata. And then, what boy a former we no, or see Makruma, and when Jessica, at the high top judges in America to go and defend him. The Attorney General will do his best to ensure, say, on by the Nabakruma say, but say, no, he has the upper hand. Well, you Ghana government, because it is a political matter, yes, sir, Kenoforata, Yahoo. And not to say abutre kanum die bi no wakwa America. I don't know. We may not have to go through any process.
I know it's a pa
obeba. But when it is a political extradition, this is the point I want Ghanaians to understand. Say when it is a political extradition, it's a different thing. So I've listened to people say, "Why didn't I get number say exchange?" That is a very narrow argument to make. You need to understand the extradition, what is involved, and how these treaties are. If it is any other case, Obia Kotomona, Ghana ni Kotomona, our America, our crew and we Ghana Kotan America, and extradition are very easy.
Okay.
But when it is a political matter, especially when the person is a high politically exposed person or hold a position of a finance minister, you need to convince. That is why my culture say WikiLeaks or more CEO no that still America hasn't been able to extradite him. Snowden. They haven't been able to extradite him because these are high profile political cases. It's a different ball game altogether. So I think that obi will be blamuna mamboya for no omo na se blame omo na kenofori atade me say forever and never na busia na yere na made they will be walking on the hall of shame forever because the omo ye eno hunsunsan so omo deserve eno na eba yi
me say exactly 4 p.m. me twa me wajeje nkra to sima Ivan Kyei innocent nothing ka messages no ba na eba station here ahoto fm come ma yanko your next item minority air call for reshuffling amukache John Dramani Mahama say the ministers ni bi wo a ye here on some on the floor of parliament na ombe yi insem bi anu a ana wo mo emba ti say John Mahama ebehwe na nka obe consider first reshuffle anka bebu apa nipa o call we Annor Dompreh no backlash with Brenana Abba. Evan
Alaska.
Yanko.
The Kyei, Mamenka said, deal.
Ade.
Annor Dompreh will be near the
President Mahama and your reshuffle.
No, Ankasa Cran reshuffle, young, send Cortifie.
But you're speaking to the mic.
Call Parliament now on Faso be an iniso. Oh, Alaskan Faso Bang, apart from Sans Bununis, I did the Hunech in the Hunu, dear no more. These are people who have professed that they will sabotage the government. And they will be on one Casa Kunya or Tessono. Assemble home.
Okay.
Nitia ye kwebi of Quacotenefi.
Nitia ye.
Oh, yes. Now, the issue no court.
That's right.
And opposition no more, you know. Or Mumfanya near my Ghana near Rishemu na Hotoswo. Say, oh, can't some Canadians are some Ghana ni befa serious. Alaska. Look at incident upon incident upon incident. The position in summer akoso our parliament. I say you need number no. And here there is a cause of confusion and commotion of parliament. Now I say he who comes into equity must come with clean hands.
That's right.
And now you can't about the
reshuffle.
Alaska. We sat in this country for 8 good years. When Cabrani and we Ghana in America so on by Etna Finance Ministry for how many years?
8 years.
Yet to me quiet and tie almost by 4 years. Not reshuffle cry or be any people say. You only do reshuffle when you are convinced a particular sector is not performing.
Okay.
And that the president holds that discretion. As Ghanaian you can express. But you cannot point to sir, mobile lands minister.
No, but that's right.
Yes.
Because
Alaska. On what basis? Let's say we have done the survey. And based on the survey, we think that this, just original and as well, reshuffle. Now we are reshuffle parliament now to be some for so many war so as a cost to parliament. That is what I'm saying, sir. You are reshuffle based on non-performance. And Cornwall Casana can reshuffle from parliament. For parliament not in for so be any so. Or sorry, General National Kasa. What you see is arrogance. People who are very empty but full of themselves.
Empty.
Oh yes.
But full of themselves.
The word arrogance na inner sickness oh. Answer na be who say obi show arrogance to obi no. There is this element of inferiority complex within them. So he thinks talking down on others will make him feel superior.
Okay.
So obi abe who say arrogant be yare enya hwe. Oh yes.
Arrogance who say
yare yes. There is a defect with it. Last time I can't say people should take it seriously. Growing up, no who a mabi and a party sorry them, a realty sorry them, and a joti sorry them or bompire or koba, a sorry call meeting odim, a sorry to coin, just a dear sorry baby home. What in China who knows? Hey, I buy idea donya mio. There is a void within and getting closer to a way of consolation. Do what in charge also nyame onye nyame no do me nka so mu nyina but half psychologically no the church is a place of refuge. If you know they are empty, only obia to rely on, so they find the church as a refuge. And they are sorry baby, she's ready because there is a void.
You're empty, so
yes, to fill herself. And this is one who said no who know what Jane say oh or nyame no dono. That is why a ma to me the kako wara suffer me no mo
suffer mommy.
Yes, open nipo mu dia we ho we ase a yes microphone mo wara suffer na. Yes, because my catcher said, yes, so we no be to one among now we move forward to one. Catcher on who say we some Jan Tem. Oh, yes,
I know, cancer,
me can some. So we no be here now. We had a life when you know who fought to be out on one. Jane, the way she are some because when you walk in and you get to know who that person really is, if you are not catchy. E just of my man, Sanka, obetimi no be in confidence. Open the almost suffer was as is where you're more.
Because
no, they go with a badge of innocence. Oh, Abranti no hojo na say for. So when you assume somebody a hojo or nyebo na kowuram na kohua, then everything takes you by surprise. By that time na bia work here we are na nyeye. Nti akomaya de ni BP ndro de bag ma onam ba bia egu ni bag. BP ndro no we de. Got nasty stuff abehu no enya de ketwa nti o we de na ho ni for ma he na nya we
wo su dem opia bontin a nanim nti wani be dia o say
obonsam is better you identify nipa the short for near then you know then you try to work obetimi adjust obetimi complement na to get it better but the wu hu hwe won ho no and none so no ma minja window ho enya obia but majority omo ye 190% very dangerous. Wow. Very, very, very dangerous. So, sa situation with here, there is a void within. And going to church, going for meeting every minute, you know, it's a way of dodging from a reality. Be a woman. She doesn't want to be alone and get exposed to that. And they always find connection or the whole jija or the whole shape bim. Sabi feel complete. Sana arrogance here. And nipa no mo ye that last time I catch o he nipa bu na arrogance and sa aggression people na dodo na ya nkra brem ye shenani o ya
okay
ta kan de Japan no suban no bi no nkra brem ye tena o mo so like asa wo no beti nche na o hye wani ya like me hu se
na afi wa be soro
nya sa wo soro kra no sana nipa tie
okay
mind ne ye fra de be compensatory mechanism. Entino say who so as obi see so na even what dey ho kura no at the back of your mind you think say manye tougher sa childhood exposure na beba biem
I say obi aye nipa tietia na dey so bre no ho ase a
enti say
I was say tembia
manye hasha
say na nado sorry na bi
and they lack self confidence as well entino and so or impose ma wu say ono so wo ho
me tietia akura
no authority that kind of way no enti and I make say psychologically if you understand some of these things never be cause you will not be surprised what I say enti sa na tie arrogance no sa na tie what nche wadwene say obunu no say e avoid tokro danemu and shouting down looking down or tiatia manfo na nasefo no and the money feeling important.
That is yes hostile.
Yeah.
Don't get close to exposing the weakness.
Exactly. The last time I call yeah nkwa yes teacher ni wait me dey okọ na obwa dodo na they have weakness. So getting close will get that particular weakness exposed. And you they anya deliberate o. Natural. Compensatory way about deny. So in order to ward off people no e akwese obi a woden eje chinje na wontumi nkanyansasem. Now my ntokwa
okay
and you know ono ye boot to boot intellectual argument enko ba bia man by dining ntokwa they say we dodge the subject ye didi e hwantem and that is in the area of specialty so arrogance you know are and wu so when you see these people's original man so and now look it down upon others men when say oh we are na woni mu inferiority complex and they think that bullying others you know will make them feel complete. That is all that. That is why they're unable to walk away. Look at Parliament. Afenyo Markin sorry no kasa. That is why the last time we majority leader and shutting it down. No? So you cannot just talk down on everybody.
That's right.
The Chief Justice was sitting there. He thinks that speaking in that particular manner, no, will make him feel big. But Alaska, I believe in making a point with valid and cogent reasoning. Nipa betimi separate you from a lot of people. Say, this guy is making a lot of sense. Without being aggressive. But in your natural state, you know, some na what kind of Tony Passum, young people can relate rather than say, my sorry, Gina, and me my command and then I say for them respect.
Okay.
We don't demand
respect and so reciprocal.
Exactly. Now no Canada Japan now say they were torn down 500,000. Would there be an altar the Mobi? Alaska. Nyansa for Ben a year on an oya papa mobia. One now could jina bon tankoka. The very moment you see people out there, men are me away, men are me say typical example onim nyansa. Ko oya papa mobia. Nipa no mum na so okodi ho dance here. Enya wa oya papa no na akodi na men are me say na men are me say. And nyansa ni bia tinche obom say enkoradwene na wo tim. Ko oya papa mobia. Enya wo na okoka nipa na why papa man no so feel say indeed why papa man na the person will have to one can just let it go. You don't go around telling people say and now wo chiro na me na me to dan man no and na ho chiro na me say ni nyina kire the defective mind the kind of way or mind in the womb. So some of these things, and for me, I am very disappointed in the way and manner things are playing around, especially with the minority and the way and manner or more your monema. And assembly and who can Ghana for before serious game. Now, Alaska, we live in the country always be opposition are down for and your minor and now buying them the baby. But John Mahama buying with 1 year. I buy no madam for the Ghana for. And now no me catch you be say no social media. You might be tempted to think say I buy na koto nipa be go social media so mon kasa ma no.
Serious.
So go social media na ya to aba wie. You might be tempted to think say I buy na koto nipa be go social media because there is a natural trend still a go against the opposition which is but the trend is supposed to go against the government.
Which is unusual.
A child say that your friend saying head hardness, toughness, aggression, disrespect, you know, still Ghana for who. Now no many work on platforms or say you to abananka Ghana for better about my MPP no more film say hey abrantie minimum sukura monom na minimum aduano kura wudi and na minimum katakura wodaso because as a normal reasonable person no I don't know idea betimi influence wa betimi atena TV so making such argument when you understand the trend the phenomenon cause okroma unless when the common sense enya ntokwa na mo decide say when the common sense enya ntokwa na we decide say wunyu so ni biem
Ivan.
Oh yes.
Why someone walking on the floor of Parliament?
Okay.
And Afenyo Markin is original.
Okay.
Now, I did also okay same we say, and then I was telling we say ignorance. Say who advertise here, it becomes what idiocy.
Yes. Yes. They say ignorance is bliss.
It's bliss.
But when you advertise it publicly,
it becomes idiocy.
Yeah.
I did win for me. Afenyo Markin is sorry on the floor of Parliament. I didn't know can a yantro but or you who can send no correct.
Okay.
And I don't go banner up to say or you in the firm. Let's listen.
It is 3%. It is no more 3%. If this bill is passed, you are taking it to 15%. Tell me that I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Real estate from 5% you are going to 15%. Are you maintaining the current threshold or you are increasing it? And by increasing, does it not amount to imposition of tax? Look, we are wide awake. We are watching every move of yours. We are watching you. Yes, you should come and rebut.
Mr. Speaker, it is important for us not to mislead the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, if you were a trader and you were charged a presumptive tax of 3% that he's referring to, you went to a warehouse to go and buy the stocks that you came to sell. There was an imposition of a tax. There was an imposition of a tax that you did not recover. So if you wanted to tell the effective rate that the person paid, it is the 3% plus what he paid at the warehouse to buy the stock. Today, what he paid at the stock would be allowed as a deductible expense. it will be an input VAT. So if he now has a value of 2%, it is 2% is charged, technically. So for anybody to ignorantly say that if you move from 3%, to 15%,
Honorable Adongo, please withdraw the word ignorant.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw. That effectively, if you look at this, we said the tax that you are expecting, there is a revenue neutral. Why do we say that? You lose some. Listen, you lose some, you gain some. So what you get is that person who was losing the cost of the materials that he bought in terms of VAT now gains. Okay? But in addition to that, 3 billion Ghana cedis is being made available by decoupling, by abolishing the decoupling of the NHIM. And so the effective VAT rate, Mr. Speaker, is that you are moving from 21.95% to 20%. Let anybody tell me that you would like to pay a tax of 21.5 as opposed to 20. I don't know where my minority leader wants to tell me that he would prefer to pay a tax of 21.95 instead of 20. That is what it is. So please, let us not mislead the people of Ghana for the sake of politics.
92.3.
So yeah, that is it.
But the one with the way what touching it's emotions with so I'm gonna throw the two up on social media language, you know. Avoid we all say what yes.
So if you do this, besides credibility bang and a wuja in your wake, you are in a position you're supposed to convince people. But when I catch yourself politics now, we are a political party, and you always appeal to your base. That political party in Tumponda. Okay. That is a particular class of people we are outside your political circles. You need to communicate to appeal to them and convince them to be on your side. And the question maybe someone said, so where the state MPP women the conduct of the so-called aspirants on the campaign trail, plus the conduct of the minority in parliament, you know. Now we have party leadership. I know when you say your friends say chairman of crime say we and abusian for so no cause no besides say intellectual bang and this argument can convince that person to buy. So the prevailing uproar on social media now reflected the tattered state of the party.
The tattered state.
Oh yes, the tattered state of the party, and the fact is people are operating at the behest of personal twisted emotions. They are not amenable to reasoning. People have become so arrogant. Issues create that I say funny church nipa buy wisdom from Ghanaians and Ghana for be taking our side, you know. They will not. Young free parliament, young sorry say now appropriation bill or more 15 way pass it through because they were up there.
Sir.
So besides nipa na what for Obama say representing no representation papa bang and a war. Na wona wo ye fia odaga tema na mo so finance minister kura dwane. You are not even asking helping how e de baba kroma say. You are asking say aban enresafo obi. Economy na enne o compare na enne. Now compare the na woman no ya. What reasonable basis do you have to suggest say yan resafo obi? You don't have. Mena wo betimi atena aka che John Mahama say ebia asumasi ba wo no you don't have that credibility because the whole finance minister makofa na ba ye adwana free ne ma me kromo adwana free ne papa kromo ne or high lawyers say oh ma ne ma me kromo or say me ya me kromo me nko biem
because my bokro no
this shameless your friend specter is hanging. You sit in parliament and you shamefully talk about Obi. So I'm a land minister. Alaska, I can tell you, sir, the land ministry is one of the toughest ministry in recent times. But the gentleman has been able to navigate the storms. And then I say for now, lithium do year by year. Ghana for sorry, sir. Watch the wide buying, but Yansono yen because of A, B, C, D, no. The government has decided, okay, let's withdraw it. Lithium no media. Ghana for there. So if this is the conversation that has been activated, fine. Young person, young re-engage. That is how. That is what you call governance.
But we will pass it.
Alaska,
we will pass it.
Governance in say we make mistake. Aban be make mistake we say. But say we make mistake and I say wo ya de na ni party na no tum. Na wo hu nyansa say I'm running for a group of people. If this is what they are saying now, let me pause and engage. That is phenomenal. That is a sign of a good leader. But beside what say at the time no, yenya sa chance ni bi. He left your Ghana for buofu na kwabrane dia cake e di birthday.
Hey.
Yase mamu ko han jet. Na ya ko han jet na besi tamake so na yetuaka. Yes, President Gary will win. Alaska, you see, in politics, but comparative analysis is very key because the remnant of this dangerous behavior that these people lived, we are still served with it.
That's right. And
John Mahama he has to go and find money to pay bond holders.
That's right.
That money could have gone somewhere. What I say? So if you think you can thrive on misinformation, you will not survive. Oba, people will expose you. Now, no, Brantie Quatana do me from no say, or say, I buy not $10 billion. There, I said, no, cano. No, I said that to the one while in Dobri, Sabaya. Dobri, Sabaya, emotionally, people who know, or the can't say, you're serious. Exactly. Sassy, the Okan, yes, I hear my with a whole crown, say, or Sassy Cano, and give it him, you bet him the aqua, 24-hour economy. Sika ben and kede ibetimi da 24-hour economy sika no ko he eyira ko he Alaska baka cho se dollar ya kasa dollar ekosora e kire se the circulation in the system na limited amamfo nya.
That's right.
So they will have to pay more for dollar. So government, because of the interventions in the gold board and there is an influx inflow of dollars. Bank of Ghana ebe keep you for reserve. But when you have extra beyond your reserve, what do? You give this money to the commercial banks so that people will have access to the money. That is a simple explanation. It becomes a problem when governments any enough reserve, because I told the idea of payment for Nema Walker, you need $1. But Bank of Ghana say, hey, yes, the IMF is a million to as a reserve. No cry them extra. And I am giving money to the central bank. Sebeya Alaska a businessman. Alaska ye adwuma waboso kan. Na o say $1. When you walk to your bank, GT Bank, you go to Access Banker, you can have access to dollar because Sikano Bank of Ghana fan check.
That's right.
When they release these monies to your friends commercial banks now, they take CDs or any other valuable way
equivalent to
exactly. So where lies the argument to say Sikano can bet me there 25 now kwabrane TV so why you nim dobri or can
Adebanko no say na host no so to ho a
no na say host na can when your panel host journalist why research about Tena TV so na kika answer no yes
wafa kese
Alaska so I think that we've gotten to era misinformation will not thrive. It will not triumph. So me now soldier for issues by a normal king. And media say yes, Obian will be Timatra Kruma catches a soldier for in here, your friend say improvement. Obian ho. But in some onion or crano, men can gum. Medabia Mekase, there is a huge gap between officers. And it's a recruit for 92.3. From officers and more after a more officers program. Now we are soldier for
that's right.
And they recruits are the blue for. There is a huge gap. So government and the army will have to do everything to ensure that they bridge that gap. Because right. I know that they do the same job. Even the dirty job is done by your friends that they recruit, And
police you're from constable.
And so from cool time there has always been a constant friction between the officers and then
a junior
and the junior ranks. You're from the other ranks in your junior ranks. Other ranks. Yes, so always there is a friction because of the disparity in terms of services and benefits. So my recommendation to government is say, let us make sure that the wide gap between the other ranks and the officers, let us bridge it. No, any self-respect. Say, because when the two begin to work together, and the army are efficient. So these are valid arguments we can activate. But don't go and lie to people. Say you and vote Jessica say, and I buy no more. That is a lie. What has American? So nobody is stopping Obiso being criticized you, but the criticism should be very constructive. The last time when I went to Burma camp, I was shocked. Now I'm called that. Now I'm visit Burma camp here, Krobia, a whole fan and for.
I was there this morning.
Oh, Alaska. We will have a real whole year, and we can tell government to say. Living conditions in let us improve it. Yes, a bit of service now, or back pay, or we can tell our buying say speed up things. I think there is a assurance in as a form. Let us make sure that we do this. These are legitimate arguments. But what is not there, don't put it there. That's my point. What I say. So that is how I build your minor. I'm a minor conundrum. So minority any credibility to cause a young will be. Because you will be Susana and minority now. That is why the reshuffle should start. Because Afenyo Markin or a leader. We a leader. We are the way lead the party. Party will lose opposition. You are supposed to make intelligent argument to convince people to come to your side. Arrogance way. When you're the leader. Members of parliament, are winning 88, even the opposition, you are even losing the numbers.
That's right.
This guy organized a press conference and told the whole world, say, a court in the kangaroo court. Court no air working for John Mahama. And the Supreme Court do ruling by or call for stay ya grant ya mawi.
And that just yesterday, Suhum, just at the Koforudia High Court. And so as you say, petition be on by against Suhum sitting MP, it lacks certain merit in where to they were on social media jubilating. And now comment section now. So
Alaska. So actually say change has really happened.
That's right.
And that transformation go both ways. And for be 92.3. And now we are Ghana near. So Ghana near to our affairs, Asemko Supreme Court was a be enquasi ruling a ba nyansa be any ordinary person can say na ruling be ni. Na say ne. Say Supreme Court need to deliver judgment in favor opposition party in the last 8 years. Yenhu bia. You should know, say, at least we are moving from a certain stage to another stage. And that should be an indictment because and with me get to the Chief Justice or panel your friends judges to hear your case in less than 12 hours.
Every window Friday's crowd.
Yes, Emma win your judgment and judgment never be go in your favor. I said, "Yakose dem na ya no under that." A toba na Ghana for some social media. Now no go on social media and say the same Supreme Court, even though judgment no quote the interest of our buying,
that's right.
But go to social media. Me on several platforms, I sat on platforms and I have your friends commended the Supreme Court.
That's right.
And for minor no mugun anymore, I'm told say he was part of the panel.
That's right.
What I say? So it shows that these people are dispensing justice based on Nema na ewo hono enye personal emotions and I me say enti say we opposition now so be kasana say won kanya nsasema nobody will take you so because for Ghana need your auto abafo no this is what they are getting.
That's right.
I voted for change so that there will be a transformation in the judiciary, especially the Supreme Court. But I'm also asking the Chief Justice or when the new High Court. Na metiana na menu metie de na Makati eka.
That's right.
And McCarthy is somebody or Kansama, you cannot take it lightly because he's one of the smartest, one of the most intelligent young people who have been in this game for a very long time. Alaska, the High Court, there is a problem. Because judgment just devoid of logic, devoid of reasoning. This Lumba issue by Obi Formula Assembly, I am interested in now me a concern about the rulings, both Kumasi and Accra. Common sense has been missed. That is why Ghana for ask questions. My culture say, if you see law as a byproduct of philosophy, it must have certain trend with logic.
That's right.
Reasoning, common sense. You don't need to deliver justice and people have to struggle to understand. Because law is supposed to naturally sync with reasoning. Mr. Law is not a complex thing. Law is legal position and law is supposed to always fall in line with reasoning. Yeah, there are other aspects like contract and other aspect of law. Based on certain principles, they are far away from us until sometimes, we'll be not to say. But when it comes to cases like this, they are supposed to fall in line with reasoning. Now, MPP ni. He has been a lawyer for a very long time.
Right.
Also in his life as our practice as a judge, as a lawyer. Until say judge di asemda. Na parties ni nyina akofie. Na otika ma ya for someone sign mra. With that motion so be a file at the oba ya say judgment no mejabi wo me de ba be ka ho.
Recently, Ebisu she work for the High Court.
Okay.
There was this Atiwa East Municipal Chief Executive. Now, you can say, we are not here to impress anybody. Now, there was this land court assessor Mobiankoso. So, by virtue, say, we are Municipal Chief Executive and I will call so, and they are cite you for contempt. Parties in Yenaba Matanase, Emma, ye jail for 8 days.
Okay.
And now I say, police for a young crata na yedo and the other parties no so call lawyer no call do baby and asa free about say judges were done no for fine
and I make say
so the lower court no Chief Justice
yes me the last time me opportunity that is what I told him say on man a new lower court no because
on your opportunity
na say when we speak on air then as a for but we should ngurem kura bete
that's right
and bia na wonya wadwe so bete
92.9
say o hye kodo mu hyensu ase kura bete
that's right
because social media no so okọ hobi
very well
Alaska is very very important say yema because nkrofo no pake ho o maka just say obi no a legal advisor to MPP or council of way
or the national
yes or high court way party people. And there are people whether they qualify or they don't qualify, whatever. Me say, whenever you are dispensing justice, who say, and your mama I will dispense your man and your papa. You are dispensing for the people and the people must accept it. Yes, people can disagree. But where that ruling is in variance with common sense, reason and logic, you will create chaos. So as in Lumba case, just imagine say a serious political say issue. NDC MPP. Nka wouldn't they be see okroma say. But M4 be hunting the free say normal.
And your politics.
Yes. Na me obri abo ade making Alaska. Let's admit say yes, the judge can vary. Or no, I say the law is at the bosom of the judge.
That's right.
Or could watch banana drains sign or to me from, but that's fine. But the verdict, must be reasonable. How can you tell Obi say your friend say ruling in some now the TO, in some now the buyer no. In some now the buyer no. My shema nyansa wom enyinaso wom. Police for some more autopsy bibia ay okay magia tuma certify say nyansa wom na fe mu nko me ba me say nsam na magia tum say nyansa wom bibia wom no say 120 billion within 2 hours and as answer me am can about ogu nyansa be na wase
initially nyansa wom but when you 20
billion into which means I wouldn't sika
wasem sa
ana time na wodi manipa no 20 billion or comfort ho anasa okwes just say sakawa anasa say ana okwotete ahane okwotete wura na wa chante amana dan sika Alaska you cannot walk to a bank in this country within 2 hours it was even less than 2 hours to raise 20 billion I am very much concerned me issue no me interest bia omo but I'm saying this because over the years we've been fighting for the court because I felt so ashamed as a Ghanaian going to your friends on social media and see how young people are ridiculing the court. Is the reason why some of us put our lives on the line, fight for this particular change to happen, and make sure, say, the court will be sanitized.
Right.
We did not vote for change for such silly rulings and silly judgment to continue. No, they put to Ghana for on the other side. So the Chief Justice will have your friends a big task to do. I don't have interest, but you see where I'm interested in is justice for the ordinary. Justice for the poor, justice for the average. You don't need to have powerful people behind you before. No. You don't need, especially when the case is a high-profile case. Among for interest, people have their suspicion. Obia on the way. So when you allow it to fall in line, it means the public perception of one. You are just deep in it. Not the day you endanger everybody. We are talking about it because we feel threatened. Well, no fan kokko to hande ye
say enu nesi wo Nigeria Sokoto ejo hu ne say ne hu ye den no and obabine ni
but it's not supposed to be so.
Exactly.
obi ohia ni nti wanya 20 billion man de nyansasem na maka ni nyina na mato atwene omo doesn't make sense one kasa from a very reasonable perspective uti ho a that is doesn't make sense. So I think so what is a man for a kan ho asema and just obi were interest because now no makati better can I was listening.
Right.
And I have listened to a couple of people who are making by see makati say na say society near very corrupt society you know and emotional people in some no bad. We ignore these things and think, oh, akwama we. We need to be very critical.
May I say, I was live on the radio. I'm on 92.3. Time check. It's about 21 minutes to the top of the hour. 5 p.m. Now, my main kind messages. Kakana answer na no. My main kind was King's Air Appliances. Say, wutie mia yedi bronya. Na yedi ayakrade bia ba ye friend no yatete so. Na say atete so dia unya 699 Ghana cedis so de benya brand new television efi King's Appliances na eno ebetumi aboa pa ewie ne aka ne say afi na afi ewie die King's be ye butu ni nyina te atwa nyina na say yem brand bit say Samsung Media Nasco Pearl ena de ekeka ho nyina no Bomadi say obeba King's Afenyo kitchen home and appliances nyina no enu so yewo say what flat screen TVs, deep freezers, air conditioners, washing machines and the ekika King's appliances say uto ye niema ye ma 12 month warranty nampo in the course of that no say bibi atochi ma ye sisa the amount na say ye the man free friend was 0555 776050 and a 0200421004 0200421004 King's Appliances. Me see en kancha say yenton ye niema wo online afeso yenton niema nso e wo social media no so mamire messages are aba ani bi ajano de we fi koforidua o say eya na hudwuru woma wamkoso a defend akromfo yi etise finance minister any woman omabo oman we na obehwe na mafo de che nei kenofrata tumi enya no si na adwi prese ofa lawyer for nim de no mutumi aboa na se na be ya ye fa no ma oman Ghana ho akire o se na nado bo na adwi mu pop so odi na busiafo ba behwia eno mawia live boy enso se odi nchia edi mama Alaska the Don ena Ivan Che Innocent se na adwi ma bo ma bill osi MPP se omoba omba be ye dem bio omoma yen kwan na yen dwen Reverend Josiah edi we fi gbechile ena ode ba ye osi midinchia de ma Alaska osi Ivan why ye ni nyina osi MPP pa na omo ye den osi MPP omo ya krofo osi Ivan when making me day no ene papa na we should do the aba na mufa mudin efaka osi MPP osi Ghana nkruma adumi yen kra because ni nkruma ye ma o my Ghana nyina no yetumi fa kwan biso eyi ni maya nkruma wadumi yen we should Alaska ye da wase ewo edwuma wo ye ene ni so adunu Yakupon ye ma say every Friday bia no bomode na fampai bo efamra ne mo mpai ma eye John Dramani mama we see a friend staff odo fi koforidua ena odi ebaye Lydia Akam on Facebook ozi kenoforiata de we gu oni na busiafo nyina animase twiaka na on Lydia ba Gode Atom ensus Alaska the Don buame na police enlistment into the academic recruitment requirement in your day because yeah kita first class and second class upper no yeah na so when you D7 wo wasimu na yi wudi film share the my na etisa and you ko invest in ko ye den parliament no soji osi JDM any NDC any opinion leaders no osi Ivan any Charles McCarthy kojo ye boa ehia appointment mumu emfa emayen izi na enya obi a otena radio so na ekasa no ehia appointment what we say ni say yama oman no enye kama or see the play level field send be Ghana ni person or access bibia obenya now also MPP knowing very well say omo ko no your own party court no because woman him so here day at the court it was a nay say BBC MPP nin catch to go to court because on him say ni defender so the lower court baby a nay is a hunu a court you side with
the Chief Justice will have to do a job a sort of treme. But my catcher say yes, say nipa be break based on party affiliation and affinity.
That's right.
And I'm not musebo mudi sanse munu masa be crash ruling na baba nti out in China we yam crash o. Na sa nneema no e bo man o. My catcher said there is in a social environment, you know, there is a fiber. I hold you nyina so be together. The very moment that fiber begin to disintegrate at a tear. We will be hose because that be a say. I dear boy, my home buying with trust and confidence. Man for war, a war mind room. And quite a fast one etitino. Yes, I near my way. Yes, last night me can't go Sudan. I say, Frebi Ashabab. Yes, here, Fre Una was on Tiasamase. Ebi, Ekura Masters. Ebi, a professors. Ebi, a doctor. What na your friend say surgical room operating on Nipa. But I do a maybe a for 2 quarter rooms or a rebel or we mura. Abua. Mono na oche no we ebia nko betimi atena estate baby ahwe na yere ne ne ma but enam say they feel disappointed no monya trust our system ne institution mu ntu no they have come to the conclusion that the only way am betimi nya justice over for 2 of us kan but ni nyina ba when the court becomes compromised my culture say yeah a part of the world no it's easy to have executive obey the ope
that's right
it's always easy to have parliament that is like ours. Partisan football in some who need to be in class discussion and as for Mfasobia Mraganani. But the judiciary can never be so. The very moment people begin to dispense justice that is devoid of reasoning logic, Nanyan sir, now say men I met court and the lawyers at my boat, they may pen a mayor, may say court in your mamma, and your papa dear. And never be a yodri, you cannot give a ruling and say, sir, men are mayor judge inti, Mobian criticize me. Oh, yeah, you want to be anxious, but why we are babble saying no? So Alaska bet me, I say, judgment to the car, F.O. Sa womb, and the same way, I didn't through with me, Trancha, judgment to Yansa him.
Right.
It's not the same thing. So do the right thing so that people will praise you and that will give the country confidence. You don't give rulings that will set the country apart. Because these issues here, because just imagine a high political profile cases. Do you know near betimi asisi? Men can say my ruling na nipa nyina nya adwen because ruling be enu aba nipa nyina. But when there is a sharp disconnection from reasoning, common sense, and where the court could have even taken further steps to ascertain the fact, Sabaya Asemno will settle the matter. You need to do that.
Right.
But if judgment seek to create more problem than before, Alaska Jansa Beno, when the court no for so bad also. What are some Americano? Me no yanti asama sintina ye court. But ye court no judgment no creating more problem than even before. Jansa Beno, we do na ye. So I think say made them appeal to Chief Justice and say, "Oh, we do my ya support here up to now."
It's only the research.
But be a do no that he need to do one year and one jejeje. Se faso na Ghana for kasa ye social fiber metete no bia be fa mrasha ni nsema eba nyina so but I think that we should not get there and allow few miscreants hiding in pongonwi emfa memedin semhunu metete oman no because oman no so chen obia this country is bigger than any other individual kwame nkroma o hefa so how dare you see someone say me na me judge ntim na me na Alaska me say Pontius Pilate or said that dear Chakraba and generation will be and so would some munu the Pabacana Jachero and Pongomi. They should do the right in the same way. Sir President, yeah, dear name, Quam for come, Margin Children, no, Sano be I on Bacom Margin. The only thing you can exonerate yourself is to do the right thing.
May I say that was Ivan J. Innocent. Now, Megususu pick information be the judicial service. Chief Justice team especially auction ekosui ye wo kromwa ne hu kwan omofa so omo de tunton to cars bi achiche ma omo na this is an allegation. Chief Justice team ni judicial service na there is one transport officer bi ewo one of the regions yes is oshini anoba na be ye generator and yes we kan one no Chief Justice ye fan kosi ni ho ade we wa no we ye fiesi Chief Justice ye fan kosi ni ho unimu ho and I think from next week, I was here to gather all for because Chief Justice by per investigation just my papa ni nim ni yokoso. Enti Chief Justice Bana all ban ye nim say a man for resisted Madam Fa. People will do everything to make sure that they make it the man unpopular.
No, he should quickly address himself with what is happening.
Okay.
Because there is a reason. Cecilia Okogana Kotra from top to down. He's the most experienced person.
That's right.
So that should reflect in the job. Oh yeah. Now making sure say any miscreant obi osema odi nsem Emma Sebi and Kwasia judgment. Any Sebi judgment and yan sanim de near my bednam so bebo mine or winner to no. He should make sure that those people are found out, sanctioned or whatever. Now we are taking no prisoners. I'm telling you.
Right.
We are taking no prisoners. And don't you ever sit somewhere and say, I am too powerful to be criticized. Yeah. We are.
I was just say Enoch tete kwabala Edward say wa I seen him pie bonne say enyankopon ankasa ne nananom womu sunsum enkunti akenoforiata na oni ndele wo sunsum mu na boni a ode aya Ghana fo nyina nananom samafo ni ndi
o soro ko e
o say
samafo no muntu kroma na o soro ko e masa ma ni mmere mfa mmara mfa no ma se samafo okọ no samafo anhu no
hevo de fi ashama sa Alaska I say you talk in for that and Japade nyina na yefama o my Ghana we should ya all the aba or say ala me ba cho mbia homa you or say Alaska nyom na wo boy pa Nancy no me pe papa we should say Alaska the Dawn or say your friend me ni masuru anyway fitema or say Alaska the Dawn Ekufado eka chewiase nyina se nyankopon de ne ba se ne be ya nya Ghana fo be hu NDC fo hu mfaso samre obetumi aba en ye wi na Ivan Che Innocent Arapu app e di amaye 0303 402862 and 0303 402904 0541 825106. Good evening,
Alaska.
Yes sir.
Pacho midili ya uza refisu melusu me voice kakra.
Okay.
Na chiaiva mami kanse me pancho ombra isteriji na onkoda isteriji na dmokoneta kuja adukwase se yedana.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Se open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.